go, so welcome to the first instalment of Freeride New Zealand TV, a little show where I'll give you my opinions on the World Cup. Who won, who might win, and who's one to watch. This show is based mainly on my opinion and based nothing on fact. Throughout the season, I'll have exclusive content and interviews with my friends who are racing the World Cup, and if I'm really lucky, maybe I can make it out to 1 or 2 rounds. I'll keep you posted on that. If you like this kind of thing and you're into it, please subscribe. That'd be awesome. Please subscribe, please. So, episode 1. Probably no one will watch this. So let's crack on. In 2015, there were 7 rounds for the UCI World Cup. Round 1, Lourdes, France. Lord? Lords. Lords. Lord. Lord? Round 1, Lourdes, France. Round 2, Fort William, Great Britain. Round 3, Leogang, Austria. Round 4, Lenzerheide, Switzerland. Round 5, Mont Saint Anne in Canada. Round 6, Wyndham, United States. Round 7, Val di Sole, Italy. And the World Champs held in Val Nord, Andorra. So, the 2015 season will see the likes of Steve Peat and Mick Hannett back in the game, returning from injury last year. We've seen plenty of team swaps as well. Fortunately, not too many retirements. This might be Steve Peat's last season. I know someone says that every year, but this year I think he said something about it as well. I'm sure we won't be seeing the end of Steve Peat around the pits though. He'll still be involved with the game. Can you tell that I'm not used to being in front of the camera? I can tell. Last year, 2015, there were 7 rounds. This year, 7 rounds. This year, we're heading back to the same venues as we saw last season, which is a little bit disappointing if you like to see new tracks. But the racing should be good, as the riders will be comfortable knowing the tracks already. So, where do I start? I think that Rachel Atherton will most likely continue to dominate on track, with realistically one opponent, which will be Manon Carpenter, which I can say firsthand she's looking fast in the off-season. I have seen her ride and I'm looking forward to seeing them two battle it out. George Brannigan had a move away from Trek World Racing, is now signed up with Commensal. He's riding for the Downhill Addiction Andorra team. He's looking comfortable on the bike. I've had a couple of shoots with him. He's looking fast. He hasn't had any wins in the New Zealand off-season series, but that's not to say he's not going to take some wins in the World Cup. I mean, he's mad. He's completely crazy. He's got the ability and he's got the speed. We just need to see him get to the bottom of a run. If you don't know what I mean, go and watch the highlights from Wyndham's World Cup last year. It's definitely worth a watch. As Rob Warner says, you can never rule out Greg Minnaar. As we saw last season, he was on form, and if he continues so, we should see him start the year swinging. Add to this his teammate Josh Bryceland. The Rat is starting the year without injury, and that might mean he'll be on his 2014 form of literally dominating everything. Either way, it'll be good to see him in the mix. Troy Brosnan, who remains on Specialized, has been looking fast throughout the summer season over in the Southern Hemisphere. Expect to see him around the podium again this season, with perhaps an appearance from his fellow Aussie, Connor Ferrin. Connor Ferrin had a great showing at Lenzerheide last year, but unfortunately didn't manage to get a result. I think this year might be different for him. Sam Hill is back again this year. Although unable to find the speed of past seasons, he's still a crowd favourite, so you can't count him out. Personally, I'm stoked to see the new GT team. What a group of lads. We've got Windmasters, Brooke McDonald and Sam Dale. Together, there's a lot of opportunity to see the GT colours on the podium. There's a solid group of riders here, always around the top 20. Looking forward to seeing how Win goes with the backing of the factory team, such as GT. Regardless of the results, the banter from this group of lads is definitely worth keeping an eye on. Follow them on Instagram, for example. Lads. With the move to Trek, you could expect G. Atherton to be a strong contender again. However, I'm not so sure. Over last year, he wasn't quite as fast as he was in previous years, and the young guys are getting faster and faster. Pretty sure we'll still hear from him, but I don't know if this year is going to be his year. Got my water. Sam Blenkinsop and Harry Heath are both looking fast on the off-season on the new Carbon Norcos. I'm hoping that we see Sam on the podium again this year. He's definitely got the speed and the ability. He's just got to put it all together to make that run. Fingers crossed we see Blinky on the podium. Ones to watch. We saw Loris Vergier pull out a storming run last year at Wyndham, getting on the podium. This kid's got speed, and we'll be seeing that again this season. New Zealand's own Matt Walker has scored himself a ride on the Cube Global team. He made an appearance in 2015, repping for the Van Zacks team, #Van Zacks. His dominance at Crankworx New Zealand definitely has him pinned as one to watch. He was king of Crankworx after all. Laurie Greenland, who is no longer on Trek, now on Mondraker, basically dominated the juniors last year, definitely one to keep an eye on. And lastly, our mate Remy Morton. Remy's had a couple of team changes, a little bit of an injury, but I reckon we'll be hearing a lot more from Remy. I hope so anyway. Let's see what he can bring to the table this year. Lastly, we can't ignore two huge names that have swapped teams for the 2016 season, both getting great pre-season results. Now that Aaron Gwyn's on YT, will he have a down year like he did when he made the change to Specialized in 2013, or will he come out all guns blazing? We know that Gwyn has the ability to dominate outright this season, just like he did last year. He was on form, and maybe he will be again this year. We'll have to wait and see. And that leaves us with our mate, world champion Loic Bruni. Winning the world champs last year in Andorra and the first round of the IXS, there's no denying that Loic is on form. Loic was so close last year, staying in contention for the overall, even though he didn't win a single round. Loic has something that a lot of others don't: consistency. Not only is he fast, but he's consistent. Loic had a string of seconds and a little bit of bad luck last year, but this year I reckon it's going to change. This year could be the year for Loic, and no doubt we'll see him on the top of the podium. So if I had to give you my podium picks for the first round, last year saw Aaron Gwyn on top, followed by Loic Bruni, and in third place, Michael Jones. Rounding out the podium, Danny Hart, followed by Sam Dale, with one of his best results of the year. So early on, I want to say I don't think we'll see too much change on that podium for the first round of 2016. Third place, I want to say Sam Blenkinsop. After racing the EWS in Chile and spending a lot of time on the rougher tracks, I reckon he'll be on form and ready to go. And if not Sam, maybe Josh Bryceland. Without that injury plaguing him like it was last year, I reckon he's going to come out of the gate.
Just thinking, get to the fucking finish, just roll it out, go there. Keen for it, wasn't it?
Second place, I'm going to say Aaron Gwyn. Getting to know the new bike shouldn't slow him down too much. He looked fast in the off-season, and he's definitely got what it takes. Second place, Aaron Gwyn. And in first place, I'm going to say Loic Bruni. He was already showing great speed in the pre-season. Who's fucking calling me? Hello, Jay speaking. In first place, Loic Bruni. Home country advantage and already showing great pre-season speed. I wouldn't be surprised to see Loic take his first World Cup win early. But hey, it's racing. Anything could happen. I might be wrong. In fact, I probably am wrong. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, I'll be back after the race with a rundown on what happened and what we can expect going into round 2 in Cairns, Australia. Lastly, I want you to tell me what you think is going to happen. Leave a comment down here, tell me what you think, possibly get in touch on Facebook or Instagram. What are your podium picks? Who do you reckon is going to take it out? So I'm looking forward to seeing lots of Kiwis on the podium, as always. I think the race I'm most looking forward to, Lenzerheide. It was so full of action last year. Maybe it'd be the same. Maybe with Valdezal. That or Valdezal. Pretty weird sitting here talking to a camera. What else is there to say? Yeah, I've literally got nothing going. Yeah, well that's it for me. Cheers for tuning in. Please subscribe if you like what you see. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. We're everywhere, man. Get involved.